With that, I'm gonna start pulling a message. I don't know where it's coming from yet. Like I don't know where to grab it from. I'm gonna actually grab a piece of paper and a pen and see if I can just listen. I'm gonna light a candle. What's up? I don't need that right this moment. Uh, I don't know, but I don't want it right this moment. Okay. So you can just leave it on the table where it was or whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I don't want to look at it right now. Okay. So we've got a candle going. Let's get some incense going as well. And do some white sage. If Substack let me stream music, I would be streaming Bad Bunny right now. I didn't even really even know. I knew Bad Bunny was an artist, but I didn't actually know. Hi, Sabrina. I didn't really know who like he was. I I hadn't even when I listened to his music finally, I hadn't even heard his songs besides like maybe on a TikTok or something. Um, but he's really good. Like I don't really pay attention to like the mainstream music that's out there. Hello, Lay. You keep singing a whole new world. Stop, Vanessa. Vanessa said that she's been singing a whole new world. And this morning I kept saying 10,000 years in the cave of wonders will give you such a crick in the neck. Like Aladdin reference out of nowhere. Like, no, and I just kept saying it like probably 4 times this morning. I was saying it walking around my house. So, um, thank you, JoJo, for turning that down. She has Taylor Swift going on in the background, but Substack doesn't allow me um to have music playing, and so she's got to have it low back there. But it's loud enough that I can still jam a little bit to it. Hopefully, you guys can't hear it too much. My condenser microphone, this guy right here, that's in Substack right now. Um, this one, can you guys hear it better on Substack? This one blocks out a lot of the background noise. So if I really want to get really want to get deep with the people on Substack, I'll just pull the microphone in a little closer. But for you guys, it's always the same because it's just my regular microphone. Okay, we've got incense going. We've got coffee brewed in front of me. Oxygen flowing into my lungs. A huge spider on the wall, letting me know there's a message. I'm really feeling. God bless you. I always think of sneezes as spiritual. Uh, Jesus energy, which reminds me, it smells good. Which reminds me of love. It reminds me of um like that righteous indignation. Thanks for joining me over here, Sabrina and Lay, by the way. If you guys want to know where I'm talking when I'm going over here, it's on Substack. That's actually where I get the most funding for the work that I do through memberships, through subscribers. Uh, and I offer, if you guys are wanting, by the way, Sabrina and Lay, after this message, since you guys are joining me over here, I'm happy to pull a card for you. But paid subscribers over on Substack can have a full reading. You don't have to be over there. I know who my paid subscribers are, or I can look them up. And then if you're a subscriber on TikTok, I'm doing free mini reads. 117. Okay, Mary Magdalene. And, I've really been having a lot of energy messages coming in on like they're kind of attacking like the attack is on mental health, whether you are oh, awesome, Sabrina. Yeah, let me put you on this. Like there's been this emphasis of like trying to like pull light workers down based on them thinking that they're talking to an energy, like trying to make them feel like they're not mentally stable, like somehow they're like schizophrenic or something like they're hearing voices, even though that's not how spiritual voices tend to come through for most people. It's more like an inner dialogue. I got you, Tule. Um, it's more like an inner dialogue that is coming through. I feel like this is part of the message. It's this inner dialogue that comes through that it feels like a voice, but it doesn't sound like a voice. So it's not like an actual like voice talking to you, telling you what you have to do. That would be intrusive energy. That would be energy that would be very worrisome for someone. The energy that comes through and gives guidance, it's lighter. Um, it feels in alignment with with truth, with love, with what you already know to do. It's more of like a confirmation. And so for me, I'm okay with calling it like my inner guidance, my inner self. I don't need for it to have a label of this is Jesus or Mary Magdalene or Archangel Michael speaking. I don't need that. That's not necessary for me. I am okay if, at the end of this world, when I'm wherever I am after this, I'm okay. And I want you guys to be okay with that it was all just like made up in your head and that like it was all just your inner voice the whole time, just putting on a show for you, or it was all God the whole time, just speaking directly through you. It doesn't really matter what it is. It matters how it transforms you. And so I want you guys to remember that as long as it's not doing harm, what is the harm, right? Like if like I believe what I believe to be true, but I'm also okay with at the end of everything that I'm wrong, that I'm completely wrong. And that's because I've shed the ego. We have to shed the ego on needing to be right. We have to give up our right to be right and be okay with being completely wrong. So, part of this message is try not to let those thoughts, if you want to call them thoughts, if you want to call them intrusive thoughts, that's perfectly acceptable to society to call them intrusive thoughts. If you don't want to call them demons, negative energy, negative entities, label them intrusive thoughts. And you can know at your core that there may or may not be such a thing as a negative entity. I believe there are. But you can call them what you need to call them in order to operate in society. When you say that you are hearing from God, it's okay if you label it to the rest of the world and say, my inner guidance. If that is what keeps you safe in this crazy world that we're in, you can know on the inside that that's your guides, your God, um, your higher self, right? The intention that you have within you is what matters. How you speak about it to the world when you're talking about self and you're not out here being like a spirit, like a spiritual guide, like I'm doing. Like if you're just out there talking about yourself and your own experience, if you feel safe saying, my inner guidance is telling me this, the intrusive thoughts are coming in and saying this. Like the intrusive thoughts are labeling things this way, or I have an intrusive thought that is telling me that I am, this or that I should do this. Um, it's okay to guard yourself in that way. It's okay to protect yourself in that way. What what is probably not the wisest and the most loving is to take other people down that are still speaking authentically on what they truly believe that they are speaking with. I believe that it's really arrogant and ignorant to think that we're the only living beings in the universe. Especially that we're like the smartest ones. I mean, come on. Come on. No way. No way are we the smartest. Um, so like if you have people around you or you feel like you have the ability to connect with some of these entities that are out there, just make sure that you're very grounded, that you're very safe when you do so, that you do not make it your whole identity, that you do not allow for an energy like that to take over your body. Channeling can be done safely without allowing for possession. All right. You do not have to allow for possession. And that is one of the things that is a little concerning for me when I see people allowing for energies to take possession of their body, even when they think that they're like a benevolent galactic being. I'm thinking of like that how is it that energy's name like Bashar or something? Like I would never, not that. No, no, not enough. Not enough information. Thank you. Um, so anyway, be careful, be mindful, full of care. I like that. Be full of care in the ways that you present yourself right now. Don't be full of fear. Be full of care. Hi, Katie. Be full of care. Don't be full of fear. If you need to lean in on things like Christianity, because that's what feels safe right now, you can be one of the light-filled ones, the ones that are actually following the red letters, and you may be able to speak to a level of people that aren't really listening right now if you do that. And if you're one that you're like, I'm so against everything Christianity right now because I am so traumatized by all of these horrible people out there claiming to be this, that's understandable too. Know that there may be people out there, myself being one of them, that is called to lean into some of, the Bible more. Because I do feel like I'm supposed to touch over here and here and here and here. I feel like part of my calling personally is to incorporate John chapter 10, where it's like they'll come from many pens and then they will all come into one pen. Like we will all come into one love-based, love-filled pen. Okay. Be full of care. I like that. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm always looking for new ways or bringing back former ways that it's been presented to me that I've forgotten. It's so crazy how much we can forget on our spiritual journey. Totally normal and human that we can forget the miracles that have happened, the great guidance that we've gotten in. Document, document, document. Write it down. Do voice notes. Revisit those voice notes. Record videos of yourself speaking about some of these things. Good morning, Crystal. Um, like document everything because I am going back to some of the things from the beginning of my journey. Like full of care is something that was presented to me way early, and I've kind of forgotten to use those words. It feels more loving. It feels more like a hug for yourself. Like I'm being full of care. I'm not being like, oh, careful, or oh, I'm worried. I'm scared. I'm afraid of. It's like, no, I want to be full of care around this. I want to like look at this in the most caring and compassionate way and walk with intention, walk and think with intention and speak with as much intention as I possibly can. But I was looking at this old YouTube video of mine from August of 2022 and I posted it in 2023. I'd held on to it for a while. And it was about my time on Mount Shasta for my first 888 portal. And just the crazy things that I'd forgotten had happened. Like outside of my tent, there was like this, I'm going to make a really creepy sound just so you guys know. Outside of my tent, as I was getting ready to meditate and settle down for the evening, was this heavy, evil breathing that sounded like it was literally right outside my tent. And it went like that. It was so horrible. And I got my dowsing rods out and my sage out. And inside my tent, I'm like burning the sage. And I'm like, I know I should not be burning sage in a tent. That is such a bad thing to do. But like, I was burning it. I was getting my dowsing rods out. I'm like, is this just an energy projecting this sound? Like to try to scare me? And it was like, yes. And I'm like, do I just need to go to sleep and like set my alarm for my meditation times? Yes. Like my dowsing rods came into like, yes. So I did. And then I woke up to like propeller sounds outside my tent. the loudest propeller sounds. And my friends had seen these, like, I don't know if you guys have heard of, like, those like white plasma looking balls that like have like a rainbow to them that people see on Mount Shasta and all across the world, actually, all across the world. Hello, Christine. But all over, it's like all over. And I had forgotten about a lot of the things that I'd asked questions about. And I was like, I can't believe this. I slowed it down. I was watching my hands. I was like, oh, I was on the phone with my friend Liz and I was like, don't you move your hands, young lady. Don't you even move them a second. Like, don't you even. But they were really solid to my side to make sure that like I wasn't moving them. And even at times, like the wind was blowing into the rod where it should have gone this way with the wind, but it was coming in this way and my hand was solid. And I'm like, and I'd forgotten that a bat had flown into my hair and like my friend Liz had pulled 2 bat cards. I pulled one on recently as well on one of the readings and it really stuck out to me. And I was like, how do you forget that a bat flies into your hair? How do you forget like that you had this growling? How do you forget that this person on TikTok had told you what temperature it was going to be where you were at and that there was going to be rain, even though there was no rain in the forecast. And then you wake up from your meditation and it starts raining without a cloud in the sky. Like, how do you forget those things? And like, it's the reminders for you that you're not crazy. Write down the things. Write down the miracles. Write down the things that seem like they are so far out there that there's no way it could happen. And revisit them, and write them down in detail. Very, very detailed. You never know when you're going to start to forget the things that happen to you. It's a part of the way that we are as humans. So I feel like that's what I'm being asked to speak on this morning with that Jesus energy and the Mary Magdalene energy. That like, one second, I forget that my screensaver goes on Substack, so I have to like wiggle my mouse every once in a while for you guys. But I feel like that's the energy that I'm being called to bring forward. The message I'm being called to bring forward is that they are trying to attack your mental health. There are energies or intrusive thoughts that may be sliding into your brain about that you're crazy or that people think that you're crazy. Just ground yourself more if you need to pull back and lean into talking about intrusive thoughts versus negative energies, demons. That's okay. If you need to speak about my internal self is guiding me, the guidance I'm getting from within is, instead of saying the guidance I'm getting from this archangel or this energy or whatever, if you need to say that, the energies that are assisting you are okay with that. They do not carry an ego where they need to have that recognition. I need you to understand that, guys. These energies do not need the credit. They don't need it. The only people that need to hear the names Jesus, Archangel Michael, are the humans receiving the message. The message is the message no matter what, whether you put a label on who said it or not. The truth will always speak through. So if you need to keep yourself a little safer, that is okay, especially right now where we are in this world. So your internal guidance is saying this. I have an intrusive thought that came in, is perfectly acceptable. To say that you're praying to God without and you felt guidance come in that said this without having to say God said to me. If an energy needs the credit, it's not an energy you want to be speaking to. Even God is not going to put you into danger unless that is actually a part of your calling. You're fully like, you can feel the truth in you that you're meant to say something in a certain way. You are fully willing and you're not scared, like, to walk forward and say that truth so boldly. Like, but you'll feel it at your core. You're not going to be conflicted on it. Okay. So like Jesus was not conflicted on hanging on a cross. Like he knew what he was meant there to do. Right. Like, and none of us are being asked to hang on a cross. None of us are being asked that. Although my son did have a dream last night that he was hanging on a St. Andrew's cross with what do you call them? You call them army ants, war ants. What are they called? Some type of ants crawling all over him. That was kind of weird. Your dreams may also be really, really active and volatile right now. Mercury went into Pisces on the 6th. It's the 8th now. Mercury went into Pisces. Pisces is a lot about dreams. Mercury is a lot about communication. Mercury is the hottest planet. And so it may be like really intense heat, really intense energy that you're getting in your dreams. Okay. Sabrina, are you still here? Sabrina's over here on Substack. Guys, please do subscribe to me over on Substack. It does help. Even if you subscribe for free, it does help bring in more people onto that area. If you're a paid subscriber, I'm happy to do a full reading for you over there on Substack. If you are a paid subscriber here on TikTok, I'm happy to do a mini read. I get way more of the funds. I get like 80% of what people pay on Substack. I get about 50% of what people pay on TikTok. Just if you guys want to know how creators earn their money. Yes, Vanessa, that would be yay. Sabrina's here. Okay, what do we have for Sabrina, please? And I'm going to do one for Lay. My arms after it's giving like a whole like real. Maybe the needle needs to be gently cleaned. No, just this. It's and it's not like moving it. It's like in the same spot and then it just like skips. But it's still moving in the same spot. You may need to clean the vinyl very gently too. Like take like a really gentle microfiber cloth or something to it. I'm gonna do from the Orion's Animal Tarot for you, Sabrina. And if anyone else is listening, take what resonates because I believe that a lot of us are gathered here together. Okay, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. A lot of us gather together because we travel what I call similar twin creeks. So we may have like an offshoot of our path, one piece of our path that is identical to somebody else's around us, even though most of our life is totally different. It's how a lot of people resonate with me. You love animals? Oh, I love that, Sabrina. So take what resonates. So for some reason, I have an Edgar Allan Poe card stuck in here too, still from a reading from the other day. You better get that back to its rightful place. Although I am curious what it is. The 7 of Wands. Oh, this was one that I had in a reading that the message was about like massive transformation. It's about death approaching, but not like death in the sense of like actually dying, but like death in the sense of death of things, of cycles, of patterns, of relationships that are not serving you. All right. Speaking of relationships not serving, we have the Lovers in Reverse coming out for you, Sabrina. So I'm going to read that. Lovers. Card number 6. When reversed, the Lovers warns of current conflicts. I just did a reading on my TikTok about really volatile energy. So this is really in alignment with the collective energy, Sabrina. When reversed, the lovers warns of current conflicts. You might be struggling to come to terms with decisions you've made, or you're battling conflicts developing from within and without. These can affect your life domains, including work, school, personal, and interpersonal relationships, and more, if they haven't already. You're suffering from a communication breakdown that could be affecting you and or those you are in a close relationship with. Time for some mindful consideration. Being honest with yourself and others is the best way forward, and the solutions might not be easy. You might have to accept responsibility for something you've done, or you might have to end a relationship. Don't despair. Though certain matters may be painful now, know that you are sowing the seeds for a nurturing future. And on this card, we have seahorses, 2 seahorses. Okay, and then I was going to pull one for Lay also since they're watching over here on Substack, which doesn't get a lot of traction right now. What are we going to do for Lay? I'm really feeling the Isis Oracle for you, Lay. If you're a subscriber over here on TikTok and you want a mini read, just let me know that you're here, that you're a subscriber. You should have a little icon next to your name when you leave comments. I don't know if it shows up in the chats on Substack for paid subscribers. I don't think I've ever had a paid subscriber show up on Substack. I know it doesn't show me that you guys are subscribers, but I know that both of you guys are. Um, yeah, and please do go subscribe over on Substack. Even if you just use the free option, it helps my account grow over there, which I really love Substack. It's so nice over here. I love it. I love TikTok too, though. Like TikTok's always going to be in my heart, even as it goes through weird stuff. So this one's kind of coming out a little bit here. I'm not going to pick this one for you, but it does say the dark mysteries enter the chamber of the dark goddess. So with the Pisces, Mercury's in Pisces right now, Lay, it could be a really good time for you to explore the dream world. So maybe not actual literal dreams, but visions, deepening your, meditations with visions, asking spirit to show you more in your vision field, your third eye. How does that work for some people? You might be wondering, like, how does that work? What do you mean your third eye? So for me, and I know everyone's is different, when I close my eyes, I'm shown different layers. So, oh, thank you, Alex. I will get to a reading for you. I do have to leave in by 10 o'clock, so in 20 minutes. So, Alex, you'll be my only paid read. Alex. So for me, when I close my eyes, I not only can see energy moving after a while, like I'll black out my entire vision field. So even when I put my hand in front of my face, I can't see any movement whatsoever. And after like some deep breaths, I'll start to see my vision actually get lighter and different colors of energy will start to swirl. Sometimes they'll like form like almost like you're looking down a straw. I call that a portal. And then I'm always asking, like, is that energy that I'm meant to engage with? Okay. Now, on the other side of that, when I am having visions in my third eye, I'll have in that field of vision, the same one that I see, like the straw and energy moving, I will see actual like shapes form or pictures start to form. Okay. These are actual visions that I'm seeing behind, like with my eyes closed. If I'm in a sensory deprivated space, I will see, I will see these things whether my eyes are open or my eyes are closed. I can literally keep my eyes open and I see the exact same thing with my eyes open when it's pitch black in that room as I do when they're closed. That's how I know that I'm actually seeing that vision instead of having light, and I can't see my hand move. All right. And I'll see things like owls, I'll see faces, I'll see and they won't be like clear like what you see on a screen for me. There'll be things that I can see, and then there's another layer to my vision that fills in like what that looks like. And that's the secondary third eye vision. It's almost like there's a gap between my thoughts and what I'm seeing. And it's like I can see a whole world just beyond a barrier. It really feels like there's a gap between it. It truly feels like I'd have to reach through something to touch that thing. And like I can have my eyes open and I can see that level of the third eye. So when I'm saying this is where I get my messages from other energies, from other guides and things like that. I put it in quotes because I know everyone has different views on that kind of stuff. So what's true for me is my truth, and what's true for you is yours, at the stages that we're at in our journeys. So this is where I can actually see where an energy is in my room, in where they want my attention drawn, where they're projecting themselves. So I could get my dowsing rods out right now. I've tried it many times. I get my dowsing rods out and I could say ahead of time that I know that my guide Kathy, her energy's right here. And I could have my dowsing rods out nice and secure. And I could go, Kathy, where are you in the room? And she would have them cross right over here. I've tried this many times. So I can like see this energy. I can feel where they are. I can feel that Archangel Michael is behind me, like right in here. And there are times that people have gifts of sight where they'll be able to tell me where they see these energies. And it's wild. So the way that your third eye works may be different than mine. But then, like, as I go deeper into a meditation, I'll actually have an entire field open up for me, like an entire landscape or room open up for me with a lot of different details. And most of the time, it's just symbolic. What am I supposed to be? Like, you could dig into the meaning of it on multiple levels because everything is with meaning. So, Lay, for you, it's Truths Unveiled, the revelation of Isis. So you may be going through like these hard truth areas where you're having to confront the truths about other people, the truths about yourself, and even like some of the things that I was just talking about may have hit you as some major truths. So the card, and here somewhere, here it is. It says, there are times when appearances of people, places, and things are truly deceptive. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you, when you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you. You may think there is something wrong with you, but actually you are intuitively sensing that all is not as it appears to be. It is wise to trust your inner feelings rather than being convinced by outward appearance. There is a situation in your life, especially involving relationships, where something is not as it's being made out to be. To avoid undue suffering later on, Isis guides you to truth and revelation. I want to read this piece of it. What is important here is to realize when you see the truth, you can act appropriately. You will not proceed with inappropriate expectations, and you can reassess your boundaries and priorities to get the most out of a situation and not suffer undue disappointment later on. Isis was betrayed by her brother Set, who, out of his great jealousy, unalived her brother or her beloved Osiris. Now Isis was able to demonstrate great spiritual strength and healing power to resurrect her beloved Osiris, and all was not lost. She also learned a painful, valuable lesson that it is wise to take our intuitive feelings seriously and to recognize a snake in the grass when there is one. When pregnant with her divine child Horus, she ran and hid from Set, recognizing that he was destructive and dangerous, honoring what she knew and not pretending that it would all be just fine. And in doing so, her child was able to be born. In the same way, there are creative impulses and new life within you that need to be protected until they are strong enough to withstand negativity or undermining by another out of jealousy or fear. Even a close friend whom you love and who loves you may struggle with your creative side, perhaps because they are yet to tap into their own creativity. It is best to be honest with yourself and know that sometimes, out of a sense of kindness, the fragile creative beginnings of a project or new habit or interest need to be protected. Like Isis, you must protect that which needs to be that which needs it by recognizing where something or someone could harm rather than nourish your life. You are being guided with this oracle to trust your judgment about someone's motivations and intentions. So that's for you, Lay. Okay, Alex, is there anything specific that you are wanting for your reading? Thank you for your payment. I don't know how to turn off my board here. I wonder if there's a way in here to do that. I'll have to figure that out. There's a way to turn it off, but I don't know how yet. So I'm going to church I'm leaving in 15 minutes. So I can't take any more paid readings right now. I'm wondering how I've been following Spirit's guidance with transformation and healing. Okay. 3 tarot cards, 1 oracle card. Spirit, please let us know. I want you to focus on keywords. You're welcome so much. Thank you guys for watching over here on Substack, and thank you guys for being here on TikTok. I want to pin this so I can have it up here for me. Wondering how well I've been following Spirit's guidance and confirmation and healing. Give me 3 tarot cards, please. Anything upside down, I'm going to bring towards my heart to flip it. Will not be flipping it over like a pancake. If you bring out too many, I'm going to put them back in. Setting my boundaries here. We have the 7 of, no joke, I just put this card back in. The 7 of Wands coming out in the upright position. I literally just put that one back in. The 5 of Swords in reverse. Need one more, please. I'm going to focus heavily on keywords. And the Justice card in the upright position. So when I look at the 7 of Wands, the 7 of Wands is about like standing your ground, like fighting in your corner. The 5 of Swords is one about like deep pain, like violent pain almost, like things that are very cutting. But when we have it in the reverse, it often reflects like inward, like things that are painful, like deep within. And even not just about yourself, but about others. Like I sense this like need to let go of some of that. So when I look at these first 2 cards and then I look at the Justice card, the way that I interpret this is there's still some things that you're really just not willing to fully see, fully address, fully stand your ground on and like be consistent on. Sorry, my Substack is going blank again here. So, hello guys. Gotta remember to like turn my screensaver off or something. I don't even know how to do that on a MacBook. Because this card here, it's got death lurking behind. So transformation, like right there, or even like a negative energy, like trying to pull you in a different direction. On this exact card, there's actually like a candle where you can't see it well, but death's hand is trying to act like to move the energy. I'll show you guys too. Trying to actually move the energy of that candle, like the light. They're trying to control it. They're trying to work it. So it feels like there may be some interruption that maybe you're not seeing. And the Justice comes out as like this fairness. Like maybe there needs to be a little bit more honesty, a little bit more structure in the way that you're moving forward. So we're going to look at the keywords though, because those are important. I did set that intention. 7 of Wands. Where's my wands? So upright, it's defense, protection, competition, territory, challenges, confidence, and preparation. So there's that structure type stuff coming in. I need to focus more on like rituals, protective practices, that energy of while we're looking at this card, the energy of this one where I said it may not even just be about yourself, it may be about others. There may be some clearing that you need to do about like the energy of competition, the energy of being territorial, possessive in some things, and then how you approach challenges, how you prepare. Uh, that's what I'm getting for that. So I'm gonna put. I'm actually gonna bookmark this because I may actually come back to this one. The 5 of Swords. Swords are back here. This one's in reverse. So the 5 of Swords in reverse is about agreements, apologizing, picking your battles, and admitting defeat. So that idea that came forward with the Justice, that maybe there just isn't a lot of like, I don't know if accountability was the word, but Um, like, you just may not be seeing everything totally fairly, accurately. One of the things that I heard somewhere, I cannot remember where it was, otherwise I'd love to give it credit, but I heard somewhere, maybe it was Carl Jung's book, or it could have been, I was reading also, Story by Robert McKee. It might have been Story by Robert McKee. I think that's where it came from. Everyone thinks they're a good person. Even villains think they're a good person. Everyone thinks they're a good person on some level. They may deep down know that, or like tell themselves certain things, but there is a level where every single person thinks they're right, thinks they're a good person, and thinks they're doing things the right way. We love to gloss over our, like, our true image in the mirror. We love to look at ourselves in all the flowery ways that we can. We love to say, oh, well, I did this different and I did this different and I did this different and like, yay, go me. And let's completely ignore all the other things that we're not doing. And that's not to have like anyone like beat themselves up or put themselves down. But if you're wanting to know the truth, if you're wanting to know, I have like 11 messages here. Um, just looking at Alex's. Yeah, okay. Um, so if you're wanting to know the truth, like, well, that's why you come here. That if you want it like to me, because I'm just gonna say what spirit like wants me to say based off of the card. I'm gonna say the thing that maybe like you won't say to yourself. And I'll say it with love from a place of love because it sounds like the way that you're asking that is that you're making changes. You asked a question about if you're following spirit's guidance. Yeah, some. And celebrate the wins. Celebrate the little things that you're doing. But you know you're not. You know you're not. You know that you're not hitting all the marks. You know that there are things that you would like to be doing that you're not doing. Hey Liz, um you know that you make a mountain out of a molehill on things that you won't calm yourself down for long enough to ground yourself. You get yourself worked up in a tizzy. I don't know why they're using the word tizzy, but tizzy's the word. You get yourself worked up in a tizzy when you have the knowledge, skills, tools, and ability to ground yourself in every moment where you get worked up. It's human. There's nothing necessarily wrong or bad about it, but let's be honest. Let's be just filled here. Let's get to the truth of the matter. So that's the 5 of Swords there. And then we have our Justice card keywords. That is in the upright position. And it's surrender, pause, suspension, sacrifice, restraint, and reflection. Those are the words that they want me to bring forward, which really does solidify out the message for you, Alex, which is, you're being asked to pause a little bit more before you get yourself worked up. Okay? I mean this in the most loving way. You are not the first woman in the world to become a first-time mother. Many women have done this over and over and have had struggles. And you would be wise to take the advice of many of them that teach you how to work through some of these things, and wise to listen to them when they tell you that A, B, and C does not need to be made into Mount Everest. It should probably be made more into, this is just a today battle, and there'll be many more battles to come along. But a lot of things going on in your life, you're making into Mount Everest instead of pausing, realizing that this is a part of the journey, that this is a part of the phase that you're in. Inhale, exhale, move forward, prepare. They do want me to go back to that. Defense, protection, competition, territory, challenges, confidence, preparation. Agreements, apologizing, picking your battles, admitting defeat. and then this one, which is surrender, pause, suspension, sacrifice, restraint, reflection. So in this card, it says, unlike the narrator in Poe's story, nope. We're gonna keep with those ones, those words, but we're also gonna put in these ones because moved one page too much. Hanged Man coming in, which the bat has been major, and that's the Hanged Man card in a reading that I did. Oh my God, that spider is so big, by the way. Spider is so big. Law, fairness, truth, integrity, choices, consequences, logic, intellect, and contracts. Still almost similar here because on this one it said, back here it said agreements, and now we have contracts. So things that you agreed to, things that you knew about. And this one actually hits harder when we read these keywords instead of the hangman keywords, even though the hangman's fits perfectly for this as well. Law, fairness, truth, integrity, choices, consequences, logic, intellect, and contracts. So there's a lot of choices that are being made that are bringing forth the battles that you're having within, the battles that you're having in your 3D life, the mountains that are just being created in life. And these are like choices that you've made. So this says, take an honest look at your thoughts and actions. Be sure they're in line with your values. The moral and ethical implications of your decisions are in question. Act with highest integrity. Consider all parties involved. Although these decisions will be challenging, be sure they cause others the least amount of harm. If your choices aren't ethically motivated, you'll have to deal with the consequences of your actions. That's the one they want me to read there, but I'm going to pull an oracle card for you as well. Where are you going for an oracle card, please? This pink one. All of a sudden, everything that's pink over here is highlighted. Pink, pink, pink. So back to your question, like, are you moving? Where was that? Let me pin it again. You're wondering if you've been following Spirit's guidance with transformation and healing? There's still some deeper things that feel like they're being avoided. It feels like you want to look at yourself through rose-colored glasses still. You're very intelligent. You're very well-equipped to go through the healing process, to have consistency, to look at yourself head on. But I think you avoid those conversations with yourself. And then I have like the partner coming in as well to my mind, that there's just so much opposite that goes on there that like there may be some healing that you guys are going to have to do together, and some things that this person is going to have to face as well. The heart, all that pink, right? I said I was seeing all that pink. The heart came out. We have to add that in on page 31. The home, the center, the throne. It's possible from an imaginal point of view to sense the heart as a place. Either we are there within the realm of expansion and compassion, or we have drifted somewhere else. There is no in between. It's common for us to leave this archetypical center without realizing it, as the world, with its seductive twists and turns, offer us frequent departure. We may even become a stranger to the landscape of the heart, leaving it vacant for long stretches of time. The seat of the heart is often reclaimed by nature, music, dance, and the presence of children or animals. This card encourages us to move past the layers of life's tangles and knots and enter the wild and sacred center of the self. The most precious throne in the galaxy is awaiting your return. When you're in your light aspect for this, it says that you're expansive, knowing, and have gentle clarity. When you're in your dark area, you're fraught, tangled, and you're feeling feelings of betrayal. To go deeper, Wild is the Wind by Nina Simone. And it says, some say there's a cave at the center of the heart. I've been saying this morning, 10,000 years in the cave of wonders will give you such a crick in the neck. Some say there's a cave at the center of the heart. Others say it's a pool with a flowering white lotus. Imagine yourself there and draw what you see. Recall the last time your heart was touched. Soak in every detail you can and feel the heart awaken. I hope that this is helpful for you. I do have to hop off because I've got to go to church and I have almost no time to get ready now. But I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And it was worth every